Good morning, happy Wednesday. We are working on Module 6 Lesson 7. If any of you know how to fix this, whenever I do a background, it always comes in front of me. If anyone can offer tech support when you come into office hours, tell me how to make it so that the Wednesday is not written on top of me. All right, make sure that you have this video playing. You should watch the entire video and do the packet at the same time before you come into office hours. It is really important that you're coming into office hours to ask questions and to check your work after you have tried it and after you've watched the video. I really like today's lesson. We are working with patterns. It is really fun. I will see you in office hours. All right, we are getting started on Module 6, Lesson 7. That's the point. We're plotting points, we're drawing lines, and then we're describing the patterns within our coordinate pairs. That's our main focus, is looking at those patterns. This fluency, you're starting by writing the coordinate pair for each of the letters. So when we have A, I see that it's at, I'm looking at, sorry, let me be clear here. I'm looking right here at letter A for fluency, and then I'm looking at the coordinate point A. And when I look at this point, I see, okay, it's at 6 is my X and 5 is my Y. So you are completing this for the rest of the fluency. What you're going to do is you are going to write a number 1 on the side. This is how I know that you completed this part with the video. Write a number 1 on the side of your paper. Now pause the video and finish A and B. You should be pausing the video now and getting started. Okay, I did not go through and do them all, but I did want you to check your work on a few of them. So E, still on A, you should have found that it was 6, 0. For E, now looking at B, E should have been 0.9 or 9/10, 0. And then G was 0 and 3/10. I'm sorry, I should have put my print. Do this to keep it more organized, and it is the proper way to write it. We are now moving into our application problem. An orchard, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on, let's clear drawings, and let me move this over, and let's focus. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's focus just on this problem to keep it really neat on our, I guess on your screen as I do it. Okay. That's not what I meant to do. What am I doing? Let's try this again. I'm going to crop it here. Okay. Constrain. Like that. Why? Cancel. Okay, I had some technical difficulties, so I paused the video. Got it. So, an orchard charges 85 cents to ship a 1/4 kilogram of grapefruit. So you're doing your know and your need, and I'm thinking, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, okay, so I know that it's 85 cents for a quarter kilogram. Okay, when I see kilogram, I'm thinking, I know that that's when I use all of my stairs. Each grapefruit, so one grapefruit, weighs approximately 165 grams. One grapefruit is about 165 grams. Ooh, immediately I noticed kilograms and grams. Okay, let's keep going. And it says, how much will it cost to ship 40 grapefruits? How much to ship 40 grapefruits? So it wants to find the cost. Okay, let's look back at everything I have. It charges 85 cents for a 1/4 kilogram. And then I have gram. Well, you know what? The easiest thing right now, let me convert. Okay, so instead of saying gram here, 165 grams, let's get this into kilograms. Okay, so when I'm looking at this before, well, so let's see. If I were to say 165 grams is one grapefruit, but I need 40 grapefruit, right? It tells me I should put that here. So how much for 40 grapefruit? How much for 40 grapefruit? It's 165 for one. Well, so I'm going to start, my first step is going to be multiplying. Why am I going to multiply this? Well, I want to figure out the amount of grams for 40 grapefruit, to ship 40 grapefruit. So I'm going to say 165 times 40. Go ahead and do this math on your own. You pause it here. Work through the rest of this. See if you can figure it out and pause here. Okay, so you should have realized that this gives you 6,600 grams. But again, I said I wanted to convert that. So if I'm thinking kilograms, right? So my second step, I want to convert. I want to convert it from grams to kilograms. Okay, so I have 6,660 grams. And I'm thinking here, King Henry. Okay, so here's my kilograms. This base, or the U, that's my unit. So I'm going down the stairs by 3. So that means I'm going to divide by 1,000. So divided by 1,000 is going to leave me. Okay, so it will weigh 6.6 kilograms to ship 40 grapefruits. 6.6. I'm going to write that here so I remember. 6.6 kilograms for 40 grapefruit. Great. Okay. But now I need to figure out how much it's going to cost. I know that it's 85 cents for a quarter. That means for one, if I'm thinking quarter, my pen just went off. If I'm thinking quarter, that means 1/4. Okay, but I know that it's 6.6 kilograms. 6.6 kilograms is what I am sending, is the weight, right, of the 40, of what I want to ship. So what are you going to do next? Okay, well, we said a quarter is 1/4, so I now need to say, so my step 3, I have 6.6 kilograms. I'm going to multiply it by 4. Because again, this is just telling us 1/4. This is telling us 1/4. I want to know what it will be for the whole thing. So when you do this math, you will get 26.4 kilograms. But it says approximately. So I'm going to take 26.4 and I'm going to say, well, that's about 27 kilograms. Okay, so it's going to weigh 27 kilograms for a quarter, and I know that that's 85 cents. So my last step here is saying 85 cents times 27. Pause again, finish that math. You should have found out that it will cost $22.95 to ship 40 grapefruit, and you should write out an explanation. Get all of these notes written, check your work. What you are going to do in this part is you are going to put a number 2 and circle it so I know if you did this section with the video. All right, now we're getting into my favorite part of this. So now we're looking at the patterns of our coordinate pairs, or the rule, right? We want to figure out the rule. So let's look at point A right now. Okay, so let's look at A right here. Let's start by plotting A. So it says 0, 0. So x is 0, y is 0. Then we have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay, and I'm drawing my line through it. What do you notice about this line, about the points? So you should be writing down a little, just like a little star. What's something you notice? And you should notice that x and y are always the same. They're equal. X and y are equal. So if I told you, based on this rule, that my x, let's say, was 30, which is going to be way off this coordinate plane, what's your y going to be? And you should be like, oh, Miss Brotman, it's going to be 3. It's not 3, 30. I wrote 30, I said 3. It's going to be 30, right? They're equal, they're the same. Okay, now let's look over at B. Same thing. So we have 0, 3, and I'm going to rewrite this so it's a little bit bigger. Let me write it right here. So we have 0, 3, we have half and 3 1/2. Do you notice a pattern? 1 and 4, 1 1/2, and 4 1/2. And maybe you're thinking, oh, look, if I look at all these x's, 0, if you add a half, then it's a half. If you add a half, then it's 1. If you add a half, then it's 1 1/2. You're correct. But that's not what we're looking for. We need to look for the pattern between x and y, not the patterns in the x's or in the y's, right? Because I could say 6 right here, and that doesn't follow that pattern, but that's okay for me to say. You're always looking for the pattern of the relationship between x and y. So let's look at the relationship between x and y. I have 0 and 3. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe I don't know, okay? Then I have half and 3 1/2, and 1 and 4. Okay, well, I notice that y is getting bigger every time. Y is always bigger than x. Okay, how much bigger? Did I multiply something by x to get y? Well, no, because if I said 0 times 3, that would give me 0, and y is 3. But maybe I added. Let's see if I added. Well, if I added 3, because that's what that first one looks like, 0 plus 3 is 3. If I look down at this next one, 1/2 plus 3 is 3.5. If I look down at the next one, 1 plus 3 is 4. I figured out the rule. Y, and you're going to write this down, y is 3 greater than x. And that, you all know, means to add. Okay, so now you're going to plot it. So you have 0, 3, half, 3.5, 1, 4, 1.5, 4.5. Okay, and I can see that my line's going to go like this. Get that plotted now. Okay, so let's think. If I said with this rule that x is 2, what is y going to be? And you should be like, well, our rule says that y is always 3 greater, so I'm going to add 3, so y would be 5. Great job. Moving on to the next page. When you look here, you're going to do two things. You are going to find the rule, and then you are going to plot it. So let's start with A. What is the rule between x and y? What is the pattern? 0, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3. Sometimes it's bigger, then it's smaller. Y is always the same. That's your rule. Y is always 3. That's okay that that's your rule. And then you're going to plot it. And when y is always the same, look what happens. It's going to be a straight line. And what's your last one? 4, 3. So it's going to look just like this. Okay, so let's look at B. Again, you're trying to find the rule. What is your rule for B? So now you're going to pause the video, and you are going to write the rule for all of them, and then you are going to plot them. Do it now. You should check your rules that you just wrote out with the rules that I wrote, and make sure that you plot them all. I will look at it when you get to office hours. All right, you are going to continue through the problem set. You are filling out the chart. Here's where you can actually write in the Google Doc, and then you are putting the coordinate plane on paper and sending in a picture of it. You are going to write a rule after you plot it and write the coordinate planes and 2 other points that are on the line that aren't in the chart. What other 2 points would fit on this line by following that same rule and that same pattern? Alrighty, I will see you in office hours, and if you made it to the end of this video, you are going to type in the word balloon when you come to office hours, and you will get extra Thrive points for making it to the end. Nice job. See you in office hours.